Today, we are speaking with Nived about his project Breaking Procrastination. And Breaking Procrastination is committed to helping high school students who are struggling with issues like procrastination and executive functioning skills. And this is done by having the students engage in conversations with Nived, and then Nived tries to get them to open up, confront the issues that they face in their high school careers. Welcome, Nived. Tell us about the problem that your project is focused on solving and who's in your target market.
Well, high school students often face many issues in their lives, some of which affect the way that they function in high school. Issues like procrastination, stress, and anxiety. My project is focused on making their lives easier by helping them solve these issues, and helping them build executive functioning skills that will help them with their high school careers and can hopefully be applied to the rest of their lives, which are constantly growing and expanding.
Can you tell us how you discovered this problem?
I decided to pick a market of college help for high school students. But while I was communicating with my beta testers, I found that the people who I was trying to help had bigger problems that I noticed. So, instead of just focusing on solving an issue that's basically a one-time thing, I wanted to help people in more than one way. The best way for me to do this was to work on those root problems that I first found.
Can you tell us a story about someone in your target market and their experience of the problem?
Well, in the case of one of my beta testers and my close friend Krish, who is seen on the slide, he was focused on getting better in multiple spheres of his life. He wanted to rebound from a tough high school year. So when I interviewed him for one of my first stages of my project, I wanted to put myself in his shoes to attempt to understand how to best help him. Then we worked together to come up with a solution that worked best for him.
What impact does this problem have on the people in your market?
Well, in so many ways. High school is the stepping stone for the rest of people's lives. The skills that students build now will stick with them. So, if I can help students make skills and beating some issues that they face, it will help them when they get jobs and chase their dreams.
Tell us about your solution. How does it work?
Well, I call it the personal help process. I hold multiple preliminary interviews with my testers. Then I find a way forward based on the information given to me. I then meet with them over some sort of video meeting software. I use this because it's the easiest way to act as an in-person conversation. I then talk to them in an effort to get them to open up and give them multiple ways forward from that point. An example of this is on the slide, where I created a doc with some individualized materials that someone could read and watch. But this specific material was tailored for one of my beta testers. I judge how they would respond to these materials based on what type of learner they are, like a visual learner or an auditory learner.
Can you talk a little bit more about your experimentation process?
Well, I wanted to start off small with my interviewees. This was done with the first simple interview, then the second in-depth interview with more important questions in them, and finally a virtual call. Specifically, it was very important for me to make sure that I was not angering them in any way, especially during these early stages. These interviews taught me a lot about whether or not my idea and market was even worth pursuing. Their takes on the needs of the project is the most important thing for me, and my own interest in pursuing a project that might not be worth it for both sides.
What was a key decision in your project?
I have multiple moments and decisions in my entrepreneurial journey. After talking with my advisor, I had to make the decision to switch my project to something that people were actually interested in and wanted me to help them with. This brought me to the second phase of my project, and I was forced to pivot yet again, because I discovered the root issues of the people in my project. If I did not solve these root issues, I wouldn't move forward in any way. Besides, I didn't feel like I was truly helping people in their lives, and I found that the way for me to go forward was to teach people skills that will stick with them for the rest of their lives.
How did your understanding of the problem you were solving develop over time?
Well, this is something that took me a long time to figure out and understand. Although I switched markets and solutions multiple times, I had to figure out a way to actually get people to open up to me. That was the only way I could help people. Over time, I realized that the human personality is like a walnut. While it might be tough to crack at first, over time, you can open it up. On this slide is a meeting with another one of my beta testers. I met with him over a Google Meet, and we contemplated multiple solutions that would work best for him. He said that he was a visual learner, so I found a video for him to watch in his free time. What worked for one beta tester wouldn't work for the other all of the time.
What is something that you did for the first time as part of this experience, and what was that like for you?
Well, for the first time, I genuinely had no fear of interviewing people or asking them questions and asking them to be a part of my business idea. This was most likely motivated by the rejection therapy exercise that I had to do at the beginning of the program, and the fact that I felt like my project would help them in their lives.
And what did you learn from this process that will benefit you in the future?
Simply put, the entrepreneurial ideas that I've learned from this program and interview skills will help me with whatever other endeavor that I choose to pursue. Most importantly for me, the idea of not dragging people along for the process is one that I truly, truly value. In my first attempt at this process, I understood that my idea itself wasn't going to work. In fact, it was such a niche problem that of the 10 people that I had interviewed, the only person who expressed true interest was me.
And finally, what's the top advice you'd give yourself if you were going to start this process over?
I would tell myself to trust the process. Because my circumstances were different, because I had missed almost 3 weeks of course learning and interviews, I knew that this would be very taxing and tough on me, because I felt that I couldn't be there for the entire process. So I would tell myself to trust my gut, and that it would all work out, no matter how many times that I were to switch solutions and projects.
Thank you so much, Nived. Really great job. Appreciate you joining us today, sharing about your project and your entrepreneurial journey, and congratulations on graduating from the Social Innovators Program.
Thank you, Scott.
Nived, we were so excited to see your resiliency in action. You really built that resiliency. We think of resiliency as a muscle. You can grow your ability to handle the different types of challenges before you. It's such an important entrepreneurial trait to develop in yourself, and it is developable. And we saw your mindset grow and shift over the course of the program, and you got stronger and stronger at handling challenges and then turning those challenges into something really valuable. In fact, we talked a little bit how it's kind of like a meta thing. You were learning the entrepreneurial process during this experience, and you were taking those lessons that were helping you develop your resiliency and using them to help with the people in your markets. You're actually using some of those approaches to help people solve problems, the challenges that they were having. Really elegant how you're able to take some of your own learnings, apply them to helping people in your market, and then vice versa. You talked about how some of the things that you were trying with people, you recognize that the relationship to the overall approach of solving problems as an entrepreneur. Really well done. Love to see how that developed in you and to see the effort you put into pushing yourself to develop. And it speaks volumes about what's ahead for you entrepreneurially and just in general in the work that you're doing. Congratulations. Well done. Congrats on finishing the Social Innovators Program. Great job.